Hello again, guys. The other day I posted a video about my top 10 favorite albums of 2016. Now it's time to bring the, well, proverbial hate. I'm going to go through a few albums that came out this year that either I found disappointing, that I found overrated, or just simply weren't that good. So without going into a lot of detail and completely bashing the bands, I'm just going to give small little things that I really didn't like about them. Here we go.
I can feel your bad vibrations all around me, all consuming.
I remember a day, well, it was a day to remember, that I could sing every single word to every single Day to Remember song. What the hell happened to that? Their past album, Common Courtesy, I wasn't very fond of either, and Bad Vibrations is just as much as a disappointment really to me. There were very few songs that I actually found to be good. Naivety was alright, and just a few others were just okay. None of it was really standout, none of it was as good as A Day to Remember can truly be, in my opinion at least.
Who need to be hated for being who you are? And be a big target for all the insecure.
Right off the bat, I wasn't really expecting too much more from Beartooth after their first release. There's really not too much you can expand about this sound of Beartooth. It's just plain basic hardcore, just raw emotion. That's all it is. So really, what else could you really expect out of a new Beartooth record? It's basically the same thing, just recycled and redone again.
But the nightmares are over. It's only just begun. As it starts to arrange me, does it all for fun? I'll have you know.
Incubus was very, very disappointing to me just because it was really displayed nothing new for the band. I really enjoyed the concepts that they provided in the past two releases they did, and this one really didn't have a concept that really grabbed me. That's really what I found special about Famous Last Words. I always said, nobody can write a concept album like them. Well, other than Elisana. So it would be ironic that they would, sign to Sean Milk's record label, wouldn't it? The concept just wasn't there this time around, and just the music was just stale and just seemed recycled and weak. It just, nothing had any oomph to it, if I may.
In the heat of the moment, look here as you're frozen. You're crushing and burning when life's at its coldest.
I Prevail really just falls into that category of overrated right from the start. Everything they released before their debut album, Lifelines, I did not see anything special about. It was sort of like when Upon This Dawning first came out, I did not see what was so great about them, and everybody just praised them, and then their second album came out and I loved it. But I'm not talking about Upon This Dawning, I'm talking about I Prevail, the most overrated band in music right now, in my opinion. I heard they're great live, but that can't really substitute the fact that every single song on this record is a cliche, and it's just been done. Like, this album was pointless to do. It's just not good.
Do you know who I am? I'm so afraid you'll never understand. There's a part of me so lost out there.
Crown the Empire is a prime example this year of a band completely abandoning their original sound that people enjoyed and throwing in some 90s rock alternative crap that I really did not like at all. Hologram might be the only song on this record I actually liked. Zero, maybe a little bit, but still, no. Lucky Us, their attempt to be heavy in this record was just a boring and an attempt to be creepy, and it failed in my book. A lot of you said it was so great, and that's why I would throw this as disappointing and overrated in my opinion. Once again, my opinion, you can slip my throat down in the comments if you'd like.
Let's get abducted. Let's get abducted.
ATTILA's always been a band that's hit or miss for me. They always have a few songs, at least on each album, that I really dig. And Franz, his vocals, when he actually does more of the deathcore style, is what I actually like about ATTILA. His lows are awesome. I've always liked them. But his rapping is just horrible, and it's cheesy, And this album is just the cheesiest damn thing they have ever released. There is probably not one song on it that I actually can say that I enjoy. It's terrible.
What do you say? I'm a tough pill to swallow. Let me say it again.
Bad Channels, really, I can't say it was really disappointing because I really didn't anticipate it coming out at all. In fact, I really didn't know about it until it was actually released. But Craig Owens is actually probably my favorite vocalist of all time. He is my biggest inspiration as to why I started singing in the first place. And this is just like not what I was expecting anything from him to do. I know he's like a huge Justin Bieber fan and stuff like that, but I didn't think he would actually go out and actually pursue and do music that sounds similar to Justin Bieber, and it's just not really my style or taste, so that's probably why I don't like it. A lot of you might, but I don't really think it's that great. Sorry. Oh, why the fuck did you get rid of Zach? Clearly I See Stars needs Zach to be good in any level possible, because I found this record to be just not there. I See Stars lost what was good, and apparently it was Zach and their guitarist. But Devin Oliver thought he could take on the role of both singing and scream vocals, while his attempt of screaming is absolutely pathetic. This album has many songs on it that I don't think I've even gone back to and listened a second time, just because I thought it just wasn't good. Their song All In on the record is quite possibly one of the most ridiculous songs I may have ever heard in my life, while others on Facebook I see are like,
It's the coolest thing ever they've ever done.
but this record just...
Got no time, no time for your love song. All my life, just wanna see you take the world on. Got no time.
This record by It Lives, It Breathes got a lot of hype, and once it came out, I just did not see why. I liked their past material, their EPs were really good, and now they took on like a 80s type sound, and I just can't get down with it. Do you guys want to see their first ever band rehearsal?
And that's it. Hey, man. Oh, fighter of the night, man. Oh.
I'm sorry I had to. I waited years and years and years for a new Saosin album, nonetheless with Anthony Green for the vocalist on the album, and this is what the fuck I get. This album was very, very disappointing. None of it had the same Saosin feel. It basically was a new Circa Survive album, which was just probably, if it were a Circa album, it would be the worst one they've done. It just lacked everything that Saosin used to have, the melodies, even the guitar harmonies. Their guitarist, I can't remember his name, left, and he had a great deal to do with the signature sound of Saosin, apparently, because there was nothing on this record that sounded like Saosin, and I just hated it.
But I won't go down without a fight. I won't go down without a fight.
Am I the only one that feels like every Memphis Mayfire album has the same lyrics? Because The Light I Hold definitely has the same lyrical content, the same just feels. It hasn't gotten any better as far as maturity or anything, and the lyrics really consist of Matty Mullins just going me, 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 me. It's all about him, and it's really annoying at this point. And I know it's kind of hypocritical and stupid because I'm wearing a Matty Mullins shirt, but this record just really disappointed me, and I really was expecting a lot more from Memphis Mayfire. Set It Off was already a real hit or miss band for me. They started off as a pop rock band, so you gotta expect that they would keep their pop roots, but they completely kicked the rock right in the nuts and threw it out completely, and now they're just a flat pop band, and it is just cheesy and dancey and just, I hate it. I don't like it at all. I was expecting something like their last album, but this was even poppier than that. Their last album was poppy as shit, don't get me wrong, but every song was very catchy, and I really enjoyed it, especially live. They were very good performing live, those songs. Like Why Worry, I really liked. And a bunch of other songs on the record were great, but there's not one song on this record I can say I actually like. And it's a damn shame. This band gets so much praise, and I just don't get it. Yes, fucka yeah, maybe fun to scream along to, because it's just funny. Well, other than that, name one good thing on this album. I know you can, but I can't. I don't know if they're trying to be funny, I don't know if they're trying to be serious, or just what's going on. This electronic, metalcore, pop, it's just not... what the fuck is happening? The Devil Wears Prada. What the hell to say about them? I gave up on them a while ago too. They actually are one of the first heavy bands that I started listening to back in like 2006. Is when I started listening to heavier metalcore type stuff, and they were probably like the first band I listened to. Them, Chiodos, and The Fall of Troy were like the first three, and I loved them. And then they sort of just lost their way with when did I lose interest? Dead Throne. That's where they kind of lost me, and ever since then they just haven't really picked up the slack. Their last good release, in my opinion, was the Zombie EP, and then that's it. And that just disappoints the shit out of me. But Transit Blues really had a few things I did like about it, but nothing that I would really just go back to and show anybody and be like, oh, look at this. There's nothing that good in this record at all, and I'm just... This is what we have become. A self-absorbed population of sperm. The vision of the future is like staring at the sun. Whitechapel got me into death metal. I started off with Distant Exile, and I was obsessed with that record, and then New Era of Corruption I loved. Their self-titled I thought was okay, and then I went down from there. This record I found to be completely stale, and just they were trying to be more mainstream, and there was even clean singing, and they should just stick to what they're good at, and that's death metal / deathcore, and just stay brutal and try not to, you know, be all Slipknot about it, because it just doesn't work with you, Whitechapel. You're not Slipknot. You are Whitechapel. Whitechapel. The Word Alive is another band that has at one point been my favorite band, but it's weird saying it, but I think it's their maturity in their writing of their music that actually has made me lose interest. They attempt to be catchy, but they in turn make the song repetitive, and when they don't try to be catchy, there's nothing really significant about that song that's really worth going back to. And Dark Matter is just the epitome of that. And really the only song that I feel the need to go back to ever is just Trapped, and that's just not good. That's the first song they released off of it, and that's really the only song that I will listen to. The lyrics just not all there for the rest of the record. It's all repetitive in my opinion, and nothing's really just the heaviness that they used to have is just not there anymore. But they had the full potential to do that, but they don't, and I just don't understand that. And then Luke Holland, who recently just left the band, thank fucking God, because now he can probably go do things that he's, you know, better at, because The Word Alive was really holding him down. And this record definitely showed it, because his drum skills just, you could have told me it was any drummer other than Luke Holland, and I would have believed you, because it's not good.
It's taking over me. I don't know what to believe. Forgetting everything that makes me real.
I already pretty much gave up on Of Mice and Men after Restoring Force, because that was just not good at all. Cold World is way worse, believe it or not, if that's possible. This is probably my least favorite album of this year, and I can't hate too much because I feel for Austin Carlisle and the condition he's in now, And I know he really just cannot scream the way he used to, but just call it quits, to be honest. I hate saying it because I've always been a huge fan of Austin Carlisle. He's been one of my favorite screamers before Restored Force. After he started losing his voice, it just wasn't good anymore, but I'll give him props for trying to continue and just living his dream. Me personally, I think it would be great, but I don't think it would ever happen, would be for Austin Carlisle just to step down and Aaron Pauley step in as frontman and it just be like how Jimmy Southpaw used to be. That would be awesome, but once again, that would never happen. But anyway, I hope I didn't piss anybody off too much with my choices. We all have our opinions. I have mine, you have yours. You can let me know yours down in the comments and tell me your most disappointing or which albums in my list you didn't agree with, or just, you know, say I suck because I just trashed on all your favorite records for the year. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the other top 10 videos I'm going to do. Thank you all for checking out my most disappointing / overrated / albums I did not like for 2016. Bye.